And we do appreciate your attendance. And for the viewers, thank you so very much for tuning in. For introductions, on my left is Commissioner Deb Shore and Commissioner Larry Hudkins, and on my right is Vice Chair and Commissioner Todd Wilchin and Commissioner Bill Avery. And I am Commissioner Roma Amundson, Chair of the Board. And assisting us this morning, we have Dave Durbin of the County Attorney's Office, Kelly Lundgren and Dan Nolte of the County Clerk's Office, and Carrie Egan of the County Administrative Office. And will you all join me now in saying the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and thank you so very much. And Mr. Clerk, will you begin the agenda, please?
A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, a copy of all written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available from the county clerk's staff. The material can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Agenda item 1 are minutes. Approval of the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held on Tuesday, February 23rd, 2016.
Move approval. Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of last week's meeting. Are there any questions or discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Abstain.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 4 yes, 1 abstention. Number 2 are claims. Approval of all claims processed through March 1st, 2016.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve all claims processed through March 1st this year. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 3 is old business, setting the annual salary of Kim Etherton, Lancaster County Community Corrections Director, at $95,085 effective December 24th, 2015.
Move approval.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the annual salary of Kim Etherton to be $95,085 effective December 24th, 2015. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Madam Chair.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Bill.
Is my mind getting a little bit rusty because I thought we had postponed this indefinitely?
It was, I believe, Commissioner Avery, that what it was considered old business.
We tabled it last week.
We
Yeah.
just tabled it to this week.
So we merely tabled it for 1 week.
Yes,
It was not an indefinite
it
postponement.
was not an indefinite postponement.
I will again have to vote no because I think this is inappropriate for us to be considering salaries for directors outside the budget process.
Okay, Larry?
I would concur. I think this is certainly a director that has done a good job and whatnot, but I think we're just starting the budget process, and I think we should delay this and go through the budget process and do this. So I agree with Commissioner Avery.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, please call
In
the.
fact, Madam Chair, I would move that we postpone this item indefinitely.
I think that-
Motion on the floor.
I think that we need to move on the original motion, do we not?
I believe it's a priority motion. Yeah.
Okay, well. It's been moved and seconded that we postpone this indefinitely. Please call the roll.
Wilchin,
No.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
No.
Amundson.
No.
Motion fails, three noes, 2 yes.
Okay, let's move on then to the original motion. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Avery,
No.
Hudkins,
No.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 3 yes, 2 no. Next is new business. 4A is a resolution approving amendments to the master leases between the Public Building Commission and the City of Lincoln and Lancaster County, and the issuance by the Public Building Commission of $16,100,000 in tax-supported lease rental revenue bonds related to improvements at the former Lancaster County Jail, located at 605 South 10th Street, and new County Mental Health Crisis Center located at 825 J Street.
Hello, I'm Don Killeen from the Public Building Commission. Scott Keen's here as well to answer questions on the resolution before you for the remodel of the 605 building and the Benish building. Turn it over to Scott for details on it.
Quickly, the resolution that's before you is required under the rules for the Public Building Commission to issue bonds, approval of the project and a new lease agreement or a supplemental lease agreement is required by the City Council and the County Board of Commissioners. The hearing was held last night with the City Council. They will be considering it for a vote next Monday night. The Public Building Commission approved the bond resolution at their meeting last week, so things are moving along very quickly. We had ratings calls with Moody's and Standard & Poor's last week that went very, very well. I'd like to thank Steve Hubka and Peggy Tharnish from the City of Lincoln, as well as Dennis Meyer from Lancaster County, and Don for their work on about 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes of conference calls. We very much expect the rating agencies to affirm the outstanding ratings of the Public Building Commission, which is AAA from Moody's and AA+ from Standard & Poor's. We expect to have those ratings tomorrow, and we'll plan to proceed to market with the bonds next Wednesday. So things are moving along quickly. The interest rate market is holding in nicely. As I mentioned to Commissioner Hudkins before the meeting, we have about $10 billion of tax-exempt debt coming to market this week, which is about $3 to $4 billion more than we've had most weeks this year so far, calendar year so far. So there's a heavy calendar, but it's driven as much by interest rates as anything else. But there is still strong demand for bonds, and especially high-quality bonds like the Public Building Commission. So we expect to have a successful sale next week.
Okay, any questions? All right, well, thank you for that
Thank you very
information.
much.
You bet. I believe we need a vote on the resolution.
I will move approval.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve this resolution, approving the amendments to the master leases. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. 4B is a resolution in a matter of vacating portions of South 54th Street, more particularly described in Exhibit A and located in Lancaster County, Nebraska, and setting the date for a public hearing regarding the sale thereof.
Move approval.
Second?
Moved and seconded that we approve this resolution in the matter of vacating portions of South 54th Street. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. C is a recommendation from the Lancaster County Pension Review Committee for placement of certain funds on the watch list for the purposes of the Lancaster County Employees Retirement and Deferred Compensation Plan Statement of Overall Investment Objectives and Policies.
Move approval.
Second?
Moved and seconded that we approve this recommendation from the Pension Review Committee. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. D is a recommendation from the Purchasing Department and the Crisis Center to award a contract for the supply and installation of office furniture and office chairs for the new Crisis Center in an amount not to exceed $45,380.40. Vendors to be considered are Encompass and Office Interiors and Design, utilizing national cooperative contracts.
Morning, Commissioners. Bob Walla, interim purchasing agent, and I believe Scott's right behind me. You do have a sheet that I was able to produce in the last couple minutes in order to give you kind of a breakdown of the quotes that we have received from the two national cooperative contractors that we have for office furniture. And I'll let Scott go in a little bit on what he's looking at here.
I'm looking at going with office interiors and design. She came up with three different presentations, I guess, of different products. One was a freestanding product. The other was a case goods product, which was mostly freestanding, and the other was a wall track. And the case goods came in very close to the wall track, and I think it would be a better product overall. And it is about $4,800 less than, or $4,700 less than the freestanding product. The only thing that would be mounted on a wall would be a horizontal track for overhead stuff, for the overhead bins or whatever you call them and such.
Does this include the chairs?
It doesn't include the chairs.
It does not.
It does not include the chairs.
The 14,300 at the bottom.
I
is
just
the
didn't know
chair
for sure if
quote.
that was included or
and
not.
chairs are, I need to replace the conference room chairs for the mental health board hearings. I have two different meeting rooms, and all the chairs in there are from 1995, and they've been falling apart for a long time. And I think there's a total of, just for those two areas, there's 26 chairs for those two areas. And then the rest of the chairs, I'm still trying to evaluate what I have, and I know LFS downstairs has some different chairs too, but I'm not sure what they have. That's not something I've been able to look at to see what they have down there. All the rest of the office chairs would equate to be, I think, 21 potentially, if I went and replaced or did new ones in all the office locations and on the 24/7 unit. The 24/7 unit does go through chairs more than the office chairs, just because of the nature of being in there all day long and such. I think most of the office furniture we have, chair-wise right now, I think was purchased between 2001 and 2004 right now.
Larry?
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you a couple questions on. You have one group of chairs at 26 chairs, another one at 21. Could you give us a price breakdown on the 26 and the 21? Otherwise, if you average them all together, they're nearly $300 a chair.
Yeah, they're probably in that range. I didn't actually bring all that with me. I think it's in your.
The 14,300 that's listed there, that was for all the chairs for his entire place that they initially discussed, and they
That
are
would
right
be
around
47 chairs, 26 and 21 that he spoke of.
Some of them are 343, some are 357, and I think it looks like most of the breakdown of the chairs are those. But Bob had also said that may not be the final price. I don't know if that's.
Right. These are our contract prices that we have here that she submitted to us, and normally when we buy a lot of chairs like that, excuse me, on one delivery, we get a better price than what our contract price is. So, and basically the quote that we have right now is just from Office Interiors on the chairs. Scott can still come in and take a look at the other chairs that we have available from other vendors and try and get that price a little bit lower as well.
And Larry?
Well, what we have done in the past on moves is we tried to find out what chairs were still usable that the agency had, and then maybe augment them and then kind of spread it out over a couple of years. So would there be a chance of doing the 26 or the 21 or a mixture of them, but what you actually need, and then do the rest the next and budget year or something?
Yeah, I could do that. I would want to do the chairs for the conference room. That's what I'd recommend to do first, and I think I could check and see what's still downstairs with LFS, and because I'd need to upgrade some of the ones that are in my 24/7 unit area, but I think that would work for those. We probably would want to have some of them cleaned. And checked out also. Along
And you
those
just
lines.
have to weigh that if the cleaning and the upholstery repairs getting such, and Bob will certainly work with you on that, and Mr. Colleen, but I guess we'd appreciate if you'd at least consider that approach.
Yeah, and I did, all the rest of the chairs for the building, I'm taking from the ones I already have and the ones from downstairs, because I did I did verify, you know, some of, or at least I know that there's at least 20 more of the stationary chairs also that I'm bringing up.
Will we
Deb?
expect to see other expenses with regards to additional, computers or any other desks, any other furniture type,
They-
infrastructure type things?
Well, for the office areas, there are some tables, and included in the price for the office furniture, they're not exactly what I'm going with yet, but they're not. It's not going to be a big change from the prices. Some of the prices are already quoted.
Okay.
There are a couple things that are not related, things that I can't purchase through here, related to the unit side of things. The seclusion area, I need a new bed there, and I'm probably going to need one other bed. I thought I was going to get a cheaper seclusion bed, but it's like $1,800 for one bed,
Okay.
and another bed itself is around in that same price range.
Okay, so this encompasses most everything on the office side. We could see some additional
Yeah,
expenses on the unit side.
and there
Okay.
was, when we had originally looked at this with Dennis, there was probably in the range of the maximum being maybe right around 18 for it, and it may end up being less than that too, but there was some cost there. My dining room tables, I'm going to have to replace those to move over, and I'll be probably ordering those real soon here.
Okay, Todd, and then Bill. Larry.
I guess my question is for Dennis, which is relating to the budget. Where's the money gonna come from?
Right now, I would say we've got two different options. The first option that probably makes the most sense is our building fund. The second option would be just looking at Scott's budget as we finish out this year and just seeing how he ends up there. So that's a possibility, but the easiest answer for right now, if payment needed to be made, I'd make it out of the building fund.
Larry?
My question is probably, and maybe Mr. Killeen would have to answer this one, and maybe Scott can right there before we bring him up. The freestanding, the bid that you're recommending to us, option 3, and it does look like dollars and cents wise, it's the best bid. However, I notice it says mostly freestanding. Are the labor to install it and put it in, are they included in these bids, or are we going to have more of a labor cost to do the wall-mounted components of it?
I believe it was included in the
It
bid.
includes labor.
Yeah.
There's about, I believe they said, 8 to 10 screws that go into those overheads, depending on what kind of wall it's in. So
Okay.
it's minimal.
Okay. Well, if
Okay,
you're ready for a
any
motion,
further questions? Okay.
if you're ready for a motion, I would move that we authorize to proceed with option 3, the recommendation of our director, Scott. That's $23,054.42.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's moved and seconded that we go with option 3.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, oh.
supposed to be option 4.
No, it's option 3 is what he recommended.
Mhm.
Are we going to include anything with chairs and some of the other furniture?
Well, that's the
he had
reason.
listed?
Do we need to make a determination of the chairs till we know exactly what he needs? Because he said he was willing to go take a look at these other chairs and see how many he actually needs, and we get a firm price on the chairs.
It sounded like for the conference room and some of those that it was a definite need.
Right.
The thing is, we're running out of time for getting these things ordered in time for him to move in. So we are going to be just fine with the furniture. They have a quick ship option, so we will have that in by April 1st when the facility is finished to get it in shortly thereafter. Chairs can take as much as 5 to 6 weeks as well. So I just want to make sure, and Scott can answer to this better than I can, that whatever he needs to cover to get his building open and operational, we're taking care of as quick as possible.
Can we say no more than 14,300?
With the understanding that he's going to do an assessment to what he actually needs.
Yeah, and the first thing I would look at would be just, like I said, the conference rooms, because that's what I'd want to ensure was done first. And
Certainly understand that.
and I know I can pull from what I already have. for some of the others. And some staff are already saying, they haven't found anything they even liked in the other chairs, and they'd rather keep what they have, but.
Could you do assessment on that and bring back a request next week, or does Bob think next week is too late for 1 week?
Just another week. I mean, I know that normally our chairs take up to 6 weeks, so.
Should be about right.
Yeah, and I can go back and look through the offices down at LFS and determine what they have again.
I think we'd appreciate it. I'll just leave my motion stand, but if somebody wants to amend it, well, that's okay. I just hate to leave it open-ended, $14,300 worth of chairs at this time until we have a little closer estimate of what we actually need.
There might be a little bit of variable on, on the change of some of the desking that in the conference room. The one conference room that's currently bid is a two-piece, and I was going to go to 6 gangable ones, which are it might be $500 more. So that exact amount might go up a little bit just for the office furniture. There's some things that I'm still working. That now that she would have the contract, I will finalize exactly what we're looking for and so forth too.
Authorize him to go ahead and purchase the chairs for the 2 conference rooms, because you need those
Yeah, sure.
immediately.
Okay.
That would be good. The maker of the motion would accept that as a friendly amendment. If
Okay.
the seconder would.
So do we have a second?
Yes.
Do we have a second?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the motion is that we will go with option 3 for the furniture, as well as then to purchase the chairs that are necessary for the conference rooms. Okay. Okay, any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thanks.
4E is an amendment to County Contract C-15-140 between Production Creek Specialty Advertising, the City of Lincoln, and Lancaster County for the annual supply of clothing, screen printed and/or embroidery apparel. The amendment extends the contract for an additional 1-year term from April 2nd, 2016 through April 1st, 2017. Cost of the county is not to exceed $2,500.
Move approval?
Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve this amendment to the county contract. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. F is an amendment to County Contract C-16-201 with Global Software, Inc. for spreadsheet server for J.D. Edwards Computer Software. The amendment provides for the purchase of 3 additional limited user licenses for $1,000 per license, which increases the total number of users to 14, and the total amount paid by the county for user licenses to $22,900.
Move approval.
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded that we approve this amendment to county contract with Global Software. Any discussion?
Yes.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Okay, Larry.
I think we had quite a explanation of this from our budget director, and I think if we don't approve this, we might have to look for a new budget director. So I highly recommend it, and I'll support the vote.
So if we support this, he's gone?
If we oppose it. Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve this amendment then. Please, any further discussion?
No.
Okay, please call the roll.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 5 are consent items. Setting of a public hearing on Tuesday, March 8th, 2016 at 9 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building regarding County Tax Amendment Number 16002, amending Article 18 of the Lancaster County zoning regulations related to airport zoning. Right-of-way contrast between Lancaster County and the following: Melvin and Cheryl Lintner, Northwest 112th Street and McKelvey Road, in the amount of $1,939. VRM LLC, Northwest 98th Street and West Adams, in a total amount of $1,212.50. And this is for 2 contracts. And receive and place on file the County Sheriff's Report for January 2016.
Okay.
Ken Schroeder, Lancaster County Engineering. That contract with Lender, I think, is supposed to be Northwest 105th Street.
I just had my hand up for that because they don't own that land on 112.
And just, it's this little corner. Is this on?
There you go.
It's a little corner of right-of-way that the actual road, it's south of Malcolm, and the road is not located in the statutory road right-of-way easement, so it's just kind of cleaning up some right-of-way. We need to do a little maintenance on that curved part of the road anyway. We thought we should purchase the right-of-way.
Do they actually own that? I don't think they do. I think that
They own to the section line.
they do. Well, that's been utilized as part of a farm for many, many years, and it's the only driveway access into that farm. The 80 acres to the east of it there. So the previous owners never had control of that, and the Lindners do not at this point. It's been hayed and farmed in conjunction with that 80 acres. Yeah, if anybody's to have that, why, there's an access in there that's been in access for over 30 years, so you might want to check that out. And I'd ask that we delay this item for a week or two until we get the proper description and get that resolved.
This is just the statutory road right-of-way along Northwest 105th and West McKelvey Road, which is this, but the actual road just curves across here.
Right, and halfway in that curve is a driveway, a culvert and a driveway, and that's access to the farm, that piece of ground right there to the west.
To the west?
Yeah, that's the only way into that farm.
I will make a motion, we approve the consent items, removing item B1.
Right.
I'll check into it.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve the consent items with the exception of B1. Any discussion on this? Okay, please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 6 is public comment. Those wishing to speak to items relating on county business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
Gary Aldridge, Lincoln, Nebraska. Donald J. Trump, there's a piece of work. For some, a citizen and a critic are equivalent in meaning. When here last, I offered public comment that was, it seems, misunderstood. Some did not listen, or did not listen with care. I expect that. An embarrassment seeks solution or salvation in public relations. My comments had less to do with juvenile corrections, but in the context of juvenile corrections, more to do with current or planned employment policies and practices. Board personnel responded, perhaps to defang, defuse, deflect, and or dilute. I was offered a tour of a correction facility. I do not mock that offer. I believe the offer sincere. Alas, I must decline. A tour would be neither wise use of time or resources. A tour is not a book, not a movie. There is no beginning, no end, no plot, no theme, no villains, no heroes. A tour is a snapshot in time. What you see now may be, the same as or different from yesterday or tomorrow. That generates false or unsupported assumptions. Assumptions, i.e. to assume. Most understand the play on that word. Only one provider of PR services was identified by name. That suggests to some, or not, No others need apply. At times, democracy ain't beautiful. The board may solicit a RFP, quote, informal RFP. There may be a formal understanding or definition of informal in law or negotiations. Quote, informal conjures for me, Fred dressed not to dance with Ginger, an informal war or conflict, an informal felony, an informal pregnancy. Theoretical, none impossible, just improbable, pretty near zero. I am not unmindful of a need for due diligence and or due process regarding use of solitary. I do not walk in the shoes of those incarcerated or those who toil to maintain safety and sanity in the correction system. A recent non-judicial finding or opinion on juvenile corrections strongly discourages solitary. To focus on a clock only is a distraction. Quote, best practices for managing youth include strict limitations on isolation. Continuing, quote, solitary is not to be used except after all other less restrictive options have been exhausted and shall not be used for 4 hours or longer. Neither clock or time appears in the conclusion. Quote, solitary confinement and isolation of children is damaging and can result in suicide. Quote, Nebraska policies must be reformed, quote, and they prioritize protection and rehabilitation. Quote, working together, reform ensures improved conditions, curing potential constitutional violations and legal liability for the state and counties.
Well, thank you for your comments. And do we have students here? Okay, if you'd like to introduce yourselves, please, and tell us where you're from and so forth and so on.
My name is Emma Olson.
Yeah.
My name is Emma Olson, and I go to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln.
Mm-hmm. Are you majoring in journalism?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
My name is Emily McMahon, and I go to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. I'm also majoring in journalism.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm Colin Spilvick. I also go to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, and I'm majoring in journalism and broadcasting.
Okay, well, wonderful. We hope this was helpful to you.
Thank you.
You bet. Okay.
Number 7 is announcements. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold a staff meeting on Thursday, March 3rd, 2016 at 8:30 a.m. in the Bill Luxford studio of the County City Building. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners will hold their next regular meeting on Tuesday, March 8th, 2016 at 9 a.m. in room 112 of the County City Building with the Board of Equalization immediately following. County Commissioners can be reached at 402-441-7447 or commish@lancaster.ne.gov. The Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting is broadcast live. It is rebroadcast on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays on 5 City TV, Cable Channel 5. In addition, the meeting may be viewed on the internet at lancaster.ne.gov under 5 City TV Video on Demand or 5 City TV on YouTube.
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded that we adjourn. Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, the Lancaster County Board of Commissioner meeting is adjourned, and let's move on now to the Board of Equalization.
A copy of the Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, a copy of all written material to be discussed at today's open meeting is available from the county clerk staff. The material can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.ne.gov. Agenda item 1 are minutes. Approval of the minutes of the Board of Equalization meeting held on Tuesday, February 23rd, 2016.
Move approval.
Second.
It's moved and seconded that we approve the minutes of the Board of Commissioners meeting held last week. Are there any corrections? Please call the roll.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 2 are additions and deductions to the tax assessment rolls.
Move approval of the additions and deductions.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve the additions and deductions to the tax assessment rolls. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Hudkins,
Yes.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 3 is a public hearing. This is for motor vehicle tax exemption applications, and this is for the Boys and Girls Club of Lincoln, Lancaster County.
Okay, well, we will open the public meeting for anyone to speak in support of, opposition to, or in a neutral position for this application from the Boys and Girls Club of Lancaster, Lincoln, Lancaster County. And seeing none, I'll close the public hearing.
Move approval. Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded that we approve these applications. Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes.
Hudkins.
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 4 is public comment. Those wishing to speak on items relating to County Board of Equalization business not on the agenda may do so at this time.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we adjourn. Please call the roll.
Wilchin,
Yes.
Avery,
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Amundson.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.